Welcome back to Talk of the Town on 99.7, 1450 WHTC and WHTC.com.
We welcome you back to Talk of the Town for this Wednesday, May 19th. I'm Gary Stevens. And we have our monthly update involving Escape Ministries, helping youth in our area with their headquarters, of course, on 32nd, just west of Lincoln Avenue in Holland. Todd Krygsheld, the Executive Director of Escape, joins us via the Zoom connection. Todd, good morning and welcome back to WHTC.
Hey, thank you, Gary. Good morning. Good to see you.
Glad you are with us. You have a question about Escape. Todd will be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. Of course, it's only been a couple of months since Todd has taken over the helm as the executive director, the operational leader of Escape Ministries. And as we sort of talked a little bit last month when we had our first chance to chat with you, you were able to get basically up and running and hit the ground running in terms of taking a hold of the operational lead of the ministry.
Yeah, it's been a great adjustment. Again, just a fabulous team and staff and volunteers and board. So I've been really blessed with that, and we're looking forward to adding some more people to our team here in the near future. And we'll hopefully next month we'll be able to give you a really good update on that, and maybe have her be a part of that conversation. So, yep.
It has been a challenging 15 plus months for Escape Ministries with the change in leadership and, of course, the COVID-19 restrictions. It torpedoed some fundraising efforts. Now it looks as if we're on the other side of the outbreak. It's almost as if it's time to break out of the cocoon and get Escape going full bore, isn't it?
It is. And so we are still considered like a school. So we still try to operate within some of those COVID restrictions to make sure people are safe. But as our summer career connections is kicking off, we've had over 50 interviews with students 14 to 17 years old to work in our summer career connections program. And we've also interviewed some great team leaders. We have those in place and we're ready to hit the ground running. We've already actually had multiple requests for like lawn mowing jobs and things. And according to AJ, that's up about 200% of requests from last year at this time. So we are going gangbusters.
And that is a good sign as well. Again, if you have a question about Escape Ministries, Todd Krygsheld, the executive director, will be happy to answer it at 616-395-1450, 616-395-1450. It has been documented about the need for workers, businesses, especially in certain industries. They have the help wanted signs. They just can't get people to work. We have seen instances where establishment retailers have had to close because they have had not enough staff to be able to meet the demand.
Yeah.
How much has that affected Escape, perhaps in the sense, not so much in attracting people to work for Escape, but maybe getting young men and women to be involved in career connections and perhaps getting businesses and individuals involved with having these young men and women work for them? Has it been good? Is it bad? Or has it been neutral? Because we're in a situation where worker demand is high and worker supply sometimes is a little low.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of Career Connections, is that it helps train young people to learn those job skills of showing up, working, developing a good work ethic, working with a team, listening to a supervisor, so that hopefully we are able to funnel in those kids who've gone through our Career Connections programs into that job force, and they'll be ready to be employed and looking for employment. And so we are finding that the students that we have, about 30 or 40 will be working for us this summer. Out of the 50 or so that applied and things, as they go through the entire process of applying, interviewing, orientation and all of that. But we are seeing that it's been good. We are a lot of businesses are reaching out to us because things that they might hire people in-house to do, they're like outside stuff that we can do. So we're seeing an uptick on our end in terms of the demand for our services. So
This might be a question more for AJ, but I'll throw it to you as well, Todd, because you've dealt with youth, not just in the short time you've been with Escape, but of course dealing with the youth throughout your career. And we've talked about that when we had our last chat a month ago about your background. Establishing a work ethic, how much of a challenge it is on a general basis. Obviously, each person is different, but it's almost as if at times agencies such as Escape Ministries, they've got to put that work ethic into young men and women. Maybe they aren't getting it at home, and they've sort of skated along a little bit. Now you've got to install that. How much of a challenge is that at times?
It can be a challenge, but I think it's just I think culturally there's been an ethic of not work that's been valued in our culture, and so we're kind of swimming upstream on that, right? One of our board members, he just can't get even people to apply for a job because they're able to make money sitting at home. So, and that's not just been because of the pandemic. There's just been a cultural sense of entitlement, I think, that has been developed. So we're swimming upstream with that. But we have phenomenal staff, phenomenal volunteers, phenomenal team leaders that pour into young people's lives and help them develop. But part of them developing a work ethic is helping them to see a future and to bring hope into their lives and to say, hey, this isn't just about pulling weeds or mowing a lawn, or yesterday they were cleaning a small yacht. It's not what that's all about. What is it that you see for your future? And in a sense, to time travel with them and to say, well, this is going to help you get to that future that you want. And so, and that can be challenging at times, because a lot of times, as you said, our situations can be difficult and filled with hopelessness. But one of the things we know is we can't control the environment the kids is in. We can't control the risk that's in their life, but we can control the hope that we bring. And that's what Career Connections does, ASAP does, Westside Fitness and Boxing does, our tutoring program does, is we, through caring relationships, bring that hope in. And as we come alongside a kid who, and that's one of the interview questions we ask our team leaders. So you have this 14-year-old girl, she's never had a job, doesn't feel very motivated to do anything, and does things just kind of halfway. How do you motivate that young person? It's been really cool to hear some of the responses of our team leaders and ideas on how to help young people develop. So like, for example, in my life, I would go out and mow one strip of lawn and come back in and say, oh, I'm just so tired, Mom, I need a drink of water. And my mom would send me out and she goes, well, how about next time you try two rows? I'm like, well, I guess I can do that. And then I'd come in after two, and after a while, she'd say, well, next time maybe you try 5. See if you can make it 5 before the next glass of water. And just through little things like that, developed a work ethic in me that I have to this day. So, yeah.
616-395-1450. If you have a question for Todd Krygsheld, who is the executive director of the Escape Ministries. And again, Todd, I hope I'm not butchering your last name. It's
all right. Krygsheld, it's all good. You said it right.
Yeah, because there's no extra I in there. That's the important thing. It's not a shield. But anyway, let us continue and talk a little, change the focus of this particular subject from the young men and women that go into Escape Ministries and are benefiting from the programs to the community in general. How can individuals and businesses be a part of Career Connections? Because it's one thing to have opportunities for the young men and women to work, but they got to have those opportunities from businesses and individuals to provide it. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so if folks call our office, businesses and individuals can take advantages of the services that we provide. So that's one way, is to provide opportunities for us to send students in to learn that work ethic in a positive environment. Another way is to sponsor us, is to sponsor a kid for the summer, which would be about $1,000 or $100 a week. And so that we're able to, because these students get paid. So they're learning how to manage money. They're learning how to receive a paycheck and what to do with that. We often wish we could control what they do with that money, but they're learning that as they get that. And so we need sponsors to come alongside of us and help us so that we can pay our employees. They become our employees for the summer. So, and then spread the word. Like tell other people, tell friends and families about, hey, if you need something done around your yard this summer, you have a great opportunity to get it done. You have a great opportunity to invest in a student's future, and you have a great opportunity to support a great ministry that's in our community.
And by the way, that phone number is 616-396-4481. 616-396-4481. And the website, by the way, is escape-out.org.
.org. Yep.
Out. Escape-out.org. And that's
Correct.
the website for Escape Ministries. And we'll put a link to the webpage when we put the description of the podcast with Todd Krygsheld on our webpage at WHTC.com in a few moments. Talk a little bit about fundraising. Obviously, before the outbreak, there was a major fundraiser that was planned by Escape Ministries. They were planning on raffling off a boat, a nice dinner, and all that. That got flushed down. And Escape had to do something about raising funds. They collected bottles and cans, and bottles and cans, and bottles and cans. And they're still, the young men and women are still going out to the stores to get those bottle deposits. That has been very successful, almost like a lifesaver, a lifeline for the ministries there, Todd.
It has been, and it was interesting. We were interviewing a student who'd been in Career Connections, and he wants to come back. And he was one of them, because we have an entrepreneurial component of our Career Connections. And it was this student and that team that developed the idea of, hey, let's go door to door collecting people's pop bottles and cans. And that brainchild is, we are now close to approach, we'll probably do it today, $60,000 in pop cans since last June. So.
And of course, the collection continues.
It continues. People can continue to bring them, drop them off at our trailer, leave them outside there. And again, gives kids an opportunity to learn a work ethic, just doing things like that. And they get paid to do that. And we are so thankful for that support from the community. I think we still get calls just about once a day, twice a day sometimes. Are you still collecting pop bottles? And the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Keep those dimes being collected for Escape Ministries. What about other fundraising? Is that starting to kick up a little bit now that we're able to loosen some of the restrictions?
We are looking and discussing about a possibility of a banquet in the fall. And we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll be able to do something in person and not just virtual. Hopefully with increased vaccinations and different things like that, that'll open up the public square a little bit more. But we're also really looking for, so I've just been kind of going through, we've been really blessed by people continuing to support us in their prayers and their finances. And one of my tasks is to connect with our major donors. And so sometimes we think of major donors as people who give $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 at a time. And those certainly are major donors. But I was going through our donor list and just discovering people who have been given 40, 50, 60 times to this ministry faithfully, $100 a month, $25 a month. And we have some significant major donors in that. So that's another way that people can support the ministry, is even if it's $5 a month. We really rely on those because you can't count on $40,000 gifts all the time. But that faithful monthly support is just such a lifeline to us. And so that's but I talk about people raising, right? Because it's not about money, it's about relationships, and having people hear the story, having people understand what's happening here through Escape Ministries. We have an event celebrating that tomorrow night, actually, called The Hero in Me. It's not a fundraising event. It's just an event to celebrate 3 students who've overcome some significant obstacles in their life. People can join us on live Facebook, 6:30 tomorrow night, and hear the story of 3 students who are just knocking it out of the park. And one of those students will win $1,000 scholarships for further education, or to go to trade school, or to buy whatever they need in order to continue to go into the future that they're trying to live into. So Hero and Me tomorrow night, 6:30, our Facebook page, Escape Ministries, and we'll be celebrating that. And so we raise up people. And as people get raised up, then hopefully the Lord tugs their hearts to support us through prayer, support us with their time or their treasure. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're talking about the Hero in Me celebration. Sort of ties in with all the high school graduations. It's the season now for graduation, and so it's not a case of whoever wins, these three students and accomplishments, and now they graduate, and they don't have to come back to Escape or don't need Escape. Now, let's put it this way. Just because they might win, it doesn't mean they're going to leave Escape in the rear.
No, because it's all about relationships, right? And so we continue those relationships and we help them develop the next relationships they'll need for the next leg of their journey. And so they come back and are connected with us. And some of them, like one kid came, he's a virtual student, he just came here to help out and see if he could help other students. And so they give back. And so it's just a great cycle. It just keeps going. So, yeah.
And finally, Todd, how can people get involved with Escape Ministries? Some of the contact information, just sort of repeat it as we wrap up our conversation this morning.
Absolutely. So they can contact us in person. They can come down. We can give them a tour, 202 East 32nd Street, right on the corner of 32nd and Lincoln. They can visit our website, escape-out.org. Click on Get Involved. There'll be a lot of different volunteer opportunities. We're excited. We're going to have a new web site format, hopefully being pushed out this week, a little bit more user-friendly and getting people aware of what they can do and how they can get involved. Or they can call 396-4481. I had a call from a lady that says, hey, I want to come and volunteer. So you can call and we'll connect you that way as well. And those are the different ways that people can get involved through Escape Ministries.
In that volunteer situation, we had representatives from the Community Action House join us last hour, and they're looking for volunteers. Hey, Escape Ministries looking for volunteers as well.
Absolutely.
And with that, as I hit the right button, we move forward on the WHTC Talk of the Town program to say thank you to Todd Krygsheld for joining us on this edition of Talk of the Town, talking a little bit about Escape Ministries, wishing you and all with Escape well. And if all goes well, let's chat again next month about some of the things going on this summer with Escape Ministries.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Gary. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, Todd Krygsheld on 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.